Hello and welcome to another edition of the Insight250 Spotlight series, where we talk to leaders and innovators all around the world to understand the stories and the people behind the insights. I'm Crispin Beale, the CEO of Insight250, and I'm delighted to be joined by Marco Baldocchi today, who's the Research Director of the Italian National Association of Applied Neuroscience. So welcome. Thank you for joining us, Marco.
Thank you, Crispin, to invite me. It's a really big, important pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, I'm sure the first thing that people will want to know is, how did you get into insights?
My journey into the field of insight began with a deep fascinating for understanding human behavior and cognition. During my academic years, I pursued studies in psychology and neuroscience, which provide me with a solid foundation in how the brain of the human being processes the information and influences decision-making. This academic background, combined with the keen interest in marketing and consumer behavior, naturally led me to a career in insight. I was driven by the desire to apply the scientific principle to understand consumer preferences and improve business strategies. It's an incredible melting pot of two different worlds.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think it's behavioral science and neuroscience are absolutely the bedrocks of research. But how do you see the role of insights evolving within neuroscience?
It's a very important thing to understand that we are totally irrational animal, and we are not rational animals, so we are driven by our senses. And the role of insight is evolving rapidly, especially with the advent of advanced technology and data analysis. In my area, the neuroscience and neuromarketing are becoming increasingly integral. Insight are no longer just about collecting data, but about understanding the underlying motivation and emotion that drive consumer behavior. The future of insight lies in the integration of big data, the analysis from the human being, the reaction of the human being, the machine learning, and we do all this stuff to predict trends and personalize the customer experience, because we are really emotional and sensorial animals. The evolution will enable business to create more targeted and effective marketing strategies, ultimately leading to better consumer satisfaction and loyalty. Because really, the biggest mistake that we do every time is to consider the human being just like a rational animal that is with the rational part of our brain, but is not. We are immersed in an environment full of stimuli, and we receive all these stimuli with our senses. And so we are, thanks to technology, we are able to analyze all the reaction, especially the unconscious reaction, and give a response, give an answer to the companies that can use this information to create a very tailored experience for the customers.
Yeah, I think that is so true, so true. And remembering that system 1 dimensions and the system 2 dimensions are absolutely critical and so often got forgotten. But one thing that I ask everyone, what's your top tip to be a leader and innovator in our profession?
My top tip for being a leader and an innovator, based on my experience, is to stay curious and embrace continuous learning. My life is a continuous path of learning every single day. Our field are constantly changing. Our environment, our world is continuously changing. And staying ahead requires to be proactive and to have a proactive approach to learning new methodologies, technologies, and trends. Additionally, fostering a collaborative environment, for example, where diverse perspectives are evaluated, can lead to more innovative solutions, for example. And the last part of my tip is to me, is crucial to bridge the gap between data and actionable insight. Ensuring that the findings are not only theory are not only understood, but also implemented efficiently with the organization. Often, especially in my field, there is like two worlds, the academic world and the marketing world. Often they are very far. The very important thing is to connect them and to bridge them to create a real useful tips.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I love that in this sort of constant world of change, stay curious. I think curiosity is so important in our profession. And one thing, thinking about what we talked about in the article in more detail, how do sensory experiences enhance brand perception and loyalty in your experience?
We are sensorial animals. The sensory is our senses are the main things we have. All the information we receive through the senses. The sensory experience play a crucial role in shaping brand perception and loyalty, for example. Engaging multiple senses, we can create a more memorable and emotional connection with the brand and a more emotional experience. For example, pleasant scent, appealing visual and tactile interaction can enhance the overall consumer experience, making it more immersive and enjoyable. These sensory cues can trigger positive emotion and memories associated with the brand, leading to increased loyalty and repeat purchase. In essence, sensory experience help in differentiating a brand in a competitive market by creating a unique and impactful customer experience. Nowadays, we receive tons of stimuli, and our brain is not so evolved to save all these stimuli and to memorize all these stimuli. So it's very important to be salient. How we can do this? Just using the best experience for our customers. But what is the best experience? It's the most sensorial, and it's engaging the right senses with the right goal, that is not to manipulate the human being, but is to create the best experience for them.
Yeah, I love the fact that you look at this not just from the academic perspective, but from the commercial perspective as well. I think that's so important that we use these tools to help organizations, to help companies. So I love hearing that. And as you mentioned, change as well, and everything constantly changes. What are the latest tools and technologies in neuromarketing research?
The latest tool and technology in neuromarketing include advanced neuroimaging techniques like fMRI, the functional magnetic resonance imaging, or the IIG, the electroencephalography, which allow us to observe and measure the brain activity in response to a stimuli, for example, a marketing stimuli. And thanks to these tools, we are able to figure out what happens in the human brain at an unconscious level, because there is a huge gap between the things that people are able to say and to explain to other, or they want to explain to other, and the things, the emotions they really feel inside them. Often we are not able to explain because we are not conscious that all the emotion that we are feeling during an experience. A lot of them are very fast for us, so they are not. Our brain is not able to save in there and to analyze with the rational part of our brain. Other tool like eye tracking technology is also widely used to understand the visual attention, for example, and engagement. Additionally, we use biometrical sensors that track heart rate, skin conductance, facial expression is a new innovation, huge market based on Paul Ekman theory. And then the news is the artificial intelligence that can help us in analyzing the data and give us like a boost to analyze large data set and predict consumer behavior. All these cutting edge tools are enable researchers to gain deeper insight into the subconscious drivers of consumer decision, leading to more effective marketing strategies. Because the very important thing, as we said, is that that's not theory, but it's a practical information that can be used every single day for different type of company, from the biggest company or the smaller companies. But it's a different way to be connected with the people. And fortunately, in this world, we are talking a lot of artificial intelligence, but the final decision is made by a human being. It's made by a brain. It's made by an emotion. It's driven by a sensation. Fortunately, because we are not in the era of computer and robot yet.
Yeah, Marco, that is so true. I think this combination of human intelligence and artificial intelligence is so important. And look, the Insight 250 is all about celebrating innovators and leaders in our field. And clearly that's exactly what you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing that. It's appreciated. And look, we spoke for this for a much longer period, and you can see the whole article on SMR's Research World or by going to Insight250.com to find out more of what Marco and I talked about. But thank you again for joining us today, Marco. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for this amazing moment.
Yeah, thank you, Marco. And that wraps up another episode of the Insight 250 Spotlight series. A huge thank you to Marco for joining us today. Do stay tuned for more episodes and more discoveries. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, keep innovating. Thank you.